everyone, it's Miriam with a Y. In my last video, I told you that it was an exciting time to be an alcohol ink user. Companies are coming out with more and more fun alcohol ink related things for us to add to our art arsenals every day, and I'm going to make sure to tell you all about them as they do. For the first time in a while, JACQUARD, the makers of Piñata Alcohol Inks, have come out with new colors. 5 beautiful new colors: golden yellow, pink, coral, blue violet, and teal. Piñata inks have been amongst my favorite art supplies for a long, long time. They are vibrant, highly pigmented, and concentrated, making it possible to thin them rather significantly with alcohol or extender and still maintain fabulous levels of color. Another true plus is that JACQUARD uses the most light-fast dyes possible when creating their inks. This is always a challenge with alcohol inks. The new colors were created due to popular demand, and because JACQUARD knows that some colors are more complex and challenging to mix ourselves from other colors. JACQUARD has also come out with a new Exciter pack to complement the original Exciter pack. This new set of 9 inks is called the Piñata Overtones Exciter pack. It includes all 5 of the new colors, along with Blanco Blanco or white, copper, brass, and pearl. The one duplicate from what they describe as the more elementary original pack is the white, or Blanco Blanco, which is a good thing because white gets used a lot if you want to paint on dark surfaces, work with the inks in resin, or create opaque or pastel colors. If you have other brands of inks, adding the Piñata line to your stash is still a good idea. Every brand of ink offers you different opportunities to create because they do behave differently and vary in color. If you're new to alcohol inks, as you fall in love with the medium, you'll come to realize that having different inks is beneficial, just as painters will have varying paints in their studios. So, let's take a look at the colors in the Piñata line, including the 5 new ones. So that you can see how the new colors compare to the pre-existing colors, I've swatched out 26 of the now 27 inks that JACQUARD carries. I skipped swatching the white because, you know, white on white, yeah. I think you'd get the idea. The 5 new colors have a little blue rectangle after their names to make them easy for you to spot. Now, I know a couple of colors look similar on camera, so let me explain the differences in case it's harder to detect in video form. The tangerine is yellower than the Calabasa orange. So though it may look pretty similar here, I think of this one as more, I don't know, pumpkin orangey, sort of definitely more yellow. And the chili pepper compared to the Santa Fe, to me, is a brighter red. They're both very red. I mean, they are red, not purple in any way, but this one's lighter. And I think these look different enough, but in case they don't on your monitor, the Havana brown is definitely more orange than the Burro brown, like really more orange. So there's quite the difference there. Though at full strength, it is hard to tell them apart. And one of the things I do love is that their black is a jet black. I mean black black. Even when it's thinned down, it's pretty black. All right, let's give you a good close-up of everything. Now, if you've been watching my channel long enough, you know that I am super excited about having teal. And the blue violet is really wonderful too. It's really nice having a more blue purple, because sometimes that's really the purple you need as opposed to the more reddish passion purple. And the coral, oh, thank goodness. That's always been a challenging color to get. So I'm psyched about that. And as much as I love Senorita Magenta, sometimes it is so overwhelmingly powerful that having a more subdued pink is lovely. I am a happy, happy camper. And then the metallics are going to be tricky. Now, Jacquard's metallics are exceptionally shiny. So I'm hoping I can get that to be apparent. And to me, the brass is prettier than the rich gold. I mean, they're both beautiful, but I am very partial to the brass. It has almost like a hint, a teeny, teeny, tiny hint of pink gold to it, which I love. It's definitely less yellow than rich gold. And then the silver is definitely rather shiny. And then the pearl, wow, that is hard to capture on film. But I'm hoping we're getting somewhat of an idea. Alrighty, let's put these to good use now. For this piece, I'm going to be working on an 8 by 10 inch piece of GRAFIX opaque white craft plastic. I cut it down to this size. And I'm going to try to use all 5 of the new colors. I've thinned each of the colors with 99% isopropyl alcohol. If you have 91%, that will work equally well. So what I did was squirt about this much ink into the bottom of the bottle, and then literally filled the rest of the bottle with the alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol. These are 10 milliliter bottles. Now for the blue violet, I used a little less ink because it's such a dark color compared to the other 4. Now, if you're going to be doing this on something like glass or ceramic tile that is a very slick surface, you would need to have at least 30% or more, ideally half of your solution being blending solution or Claro extender. Because since I've thinned my ink so much, I've also thinned its binding power by diluting it with the alcohol. The opaque white plastic or photo paper or Yupo, they have enough tooth to grab on to even alcohol ink that's been thinned this much, but glass and ceramic tile cannot do that. Your project would just wipe away at the slightest touch with ink that's been thinned this much. So if you're going to do this on something like that, add a decent amount of Claro extender or blending solution to your mix to maintain the binding property of the ink. I'm going to be using a technique I developed a year ago, and I haven't done in a video since then, so I kind of think it might be fun to kind of do it again. And I'm just working on a dollar store picture frame that I have wrapped in a grocery bag, an old grocery bag, and I have then taped the craft plastic, my GRAFIX opaque white, to my work surface. And I've taped it all the way around with just good old Scotch tape that I also get from the dollar store, because I find that it works really, really well. And the reason I've taped it is twofold. One, because I'm going to be blowing a lot of air at this, and I kind of want my project to stay put and not like run away from me as I create this. And Two, I kind of like the effect of the frame that I get after I remove the tape. So hopefully that'll work. I've tried to burnish the corners as well as possible so as not to have leaks, but this is Graphics Opaque White. Even if I have a leak, it'll be easy to wipe it away. It doesn't stain. This technique requires continuous streams of air. I'll be using a hot air brush. A blow dryer works great for this too. Another thing to note is that this can be a little messy, just a teeny bit. So make a bit of a splash guard for yourself. So what I have in front of me is a corner from a cardboard box. So two sides at a 90-degree angle from here to here. And that way, if ink does fly away from me a little bit, it hits the cardboard and not my floor or my furniture or your dog or your cat. So just have something in front of you, about 8 inches tall to protect anything that's beyond your table. Oddly enough, though it could get a little messy like out here, it's really neat on this side, so I don't even need to wear gloves for this technique. All right, let's do this. For this first minute, I'm letting the video run at normal speed so that you can see how this works. Then I'll speed it up. I'm starting out with blue violet. My air blower is on and will stay on the entire time I have ink being added to the painting. I also move the bottle in the direction in which I want to draw my lines. Now, if I didn't have air blowing forward when I add the ink to the surface, what would happen is that the ink would bloom outward and, like in round ball type shapes. And for this, that's not what I want. I want thinner streams or lines of color. I vary where I start each stream to give the painting interest and a sense of texture, but there are times at which for a painting you might want all the streams to start at exactly the same point. So that depends on what you're after. When I add a new color, here I've chosen teal, I make sure to choose one that's not going to make a muddy color with the one before it. So like if I'd gone to yellow right after the purple, that wouldn't have been good because yellow and purple make kind of a brown. And I didn't want brown for this piece. I also work to create an area where the colors overlap so that there's a nice transition between those two colors. Periodically, I switch over to straight isopropyl alcohol in order to add some light streams for contrast. I find that if I don't do that, this can look a little flat if all the streams are just the same value of color. So adding light periodically really gives this a better look, I think. The other reason I use the straight alcohol is to erase a stream I don't like. Maybe one got wonky, got too dark, whatever. Like here I got a nice olive color blending the teal and the golden yellow, but I got it too far over into the area where I'd want to start adding coral. So after trying to blow it away, since it was such a wide area, I just wiped it away. That's the beauty of Graphics Opaque White plastic. I can wipe back down to the white with just a little alcohol. So with that done, I proceed on my merry way, picking up with a little more teal. I love this color, by the way. I used to be all about Baja Blue, but I may have to cheat on that color with this teal. I think I'll be having an affair with teal for quite some time. It feels more, I don't know, sophisticated somehow. I go back to the yellow And this time I work my transition more carefully so that when I switch over to coral, it won't mix with olive, because that would be a yucky color. just not pretty at all. Now the coral, also super pretty. I like how the dark edge lines it makes are almost red. A little alcohol to add some light to this area. And then I bring in the pink. And oh my gosh, the pink is so beautiful. I cannot wait to make flowers with this color. And wispy, ethereal pieces. My mind is racing. Instead of just ending with pink, I decided to bring in some blue violet here too. I think it frames the piece better. What do you think? How would you start and finish a piece like this? Tell me in the comments. For fun, I add a hint of pink to the beginning of the piece too. Just a teeny bit. Now with all of my colorful streams down, I'm doing a little editing using a micro brush dipped in alcohol. I'm lightening spots that dry darker than I'd like, and I'm also softening transitions between colors. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to give this a few minutes to really dry completely. I mean, it's probably totally dry, but I just want to make sure that anything along the edge of the tape has had a chance to completely dry. Because what could happen is that if there's still a little bit of damp stuff going on the edge, if I pull off the tape, that would want to bloom along the crisp line that I'm hoping to get. So just gonna be patient. Give it 10 minutes. Go make myself a cup of coffee, come back, and then remove the tape, and it'll be worth it. Okay. And now one of my favorite but most nerve-wracking steps, removing the tape and seeing how the frame fared. I hope you've enjoyed this fun and easy project. Let me know with a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more ways to have fun with your inks and to learn about new products. Links for everything I used are in the description box below the video, as are ways you can help keep my channel going and videos being made. So that worked out really well. I only have one itty bitty little bitty baby leak right there where the tape met, but all the other corners are just perfect. I can't get over that. Woohoo! How cool. Overall, I love these new colors. They are a wonderful addition to our alcohol ink world. I may be partial to the teal and pink right now, but I'm even liking the yellow, which is something you don't hear from me often. Let me know which new color is your favorite and which ones you'll be adding to your stash. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye now.